You are now entering the Thick Goddess Energy Morning Show. We in the building. High priestess in the building, didn't let my fears kill me. Transmuted my pain in that cleanse in the rain. Found out I was working and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became. So I don't really believe in generational curses, though. Do believe in some crazy shit out there.
Yeah,
I do believe people can send you evil eye. People can wish you bad. I mean, we cleanse ourselves all the time, right? People can send you bad energy all the time. But as far as like your great grandmother and like this voodoo lady fucking put a curse on her, and now everybody, down the line, because that's what you
right.
hear, right? This voodoo
Yeah.
lady fucking curse. Do I believe that? No. I have to say no. I don't technically believe that. Do I feel like some people, especially magically, can fuck with some shit they're not supposed to, and somewhere down the line somebody pays the price? Yes.
Or
Don't
transfer
know if
that
that's
energy. Yeah.
don't know if that's considered a generational curse though. My internet does this. Okay, so until she comes back, I know she's going to come back on, but so let's go back to the conversation of generational curses. I don't necessarily, like I said, I don't necessarily believe that someone can curse you to the point of your whole family is like destined to be shitty and poor. I believe that us as single people are always able to break through and prevail in the energy should we want to, you know. Um, is she back yet? She might be. I do, however, feel that yes, there could be lingering shit that you got to deal with. That maybe your mother, your grandmother, or someone fucked with, and you might have to deal with. Looking over my shoulder and shit. Oh, her connection just really doesn't want to come through, you guys. Um, I think you just have to be mindful about it. I think if you put more energy into it than what you think, or you put more energy on it where you make it your reality, then I think it will become your misfortunate reality. I think a lot of times, we have to own our shit, right? And this is where it goes into your morale, your integrity, the way that you live your life, how kind and how you are with people, that you're not leaving behind any lingering energy that would want to come and fuck with your family. Especially if you're someone who's in, we just had a whole segment on spell work, but if you are someone who practices, you probably should pay attention to the way that you practice, the way that you, hopefully she comes back. Oh, I think she finally back. There we go.
I think so. I
Right,
love those
right.
people. I just want to just take me back. But,
All
um,
right.
so yes, I don't think I believe in the whole like we're cursed and we're gonna be damned for the rest of our
Right,
lives kind of thing. I think it's
right.
more that mindset that you have to learn to work out of, to get out of. So I remember you doing a healing. I don't remember with who or what it was, but it was supposed to heal for like so many generations after you, right? So how
Hmm.
does that technically work then?
That was in the data healing with Nicole, which we are going to have her on our show next week. And so some of these healing techniques, as you heal, because some of it is through generational trauma. A lot of it is through that womb trauma passed down from generations, which we know through the DNA. The DNA carries a lot, way more than
Mhm.
what we even can comprehend, right? Science hasn't even figured out half of the dormant strands of DNA that just sit there that aren't even active DNA, right? We know there's non-active DNA, right? So parts of these healing, it's said that you can heal up to 7 lines before you and 7 lines after you. And it's crazy because when I heard that, I was like, "What sounds good?" Because I'm always the person like, "It sounds good.
Mhm.
Let me see it happen, though." You know, like let me see it happen. Now, in the first session, I remember the first session I did of theta state healing. It wasn't as profound as the second one. You know, we did crack some things, and yeah, we hit some targets, and the biggest part is reprogramming your mindset in that session with creator's energy, whoever it is that you believe in, right? And reconnecting to the idea of creator. And at the time, I still was iffy on what that was, even though I say source, even though I say, at that time, which was last year, no, this year in January was the first session I
Mhm.
had. There was this, I still was iffy on what does that mean, creator? What does that mean, source? What is this connection? And that's where I was kind of working through that stuff. But I remember a week after my first session, my daughter called me and she was just like, something's changed. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's just like, something has changed. She was just like, something's different, and she had been dealing with her boyfriend and just, the repetitive cycle going back and forth. And then it's just kind of like, it's like she kind of woke up out of something. And then she just was like, I just can't do this anymore. I just can't. And it was just the weirdest thing. And she was like, I just feel different. And she couldn't say like why. There was
Why?
nothing behind it. And it hit me and it was just like, oh shit. Last week I did the fucking session. You know what I mean? Like this shit works. This shit works. I look at my grandsons who, their father has not been in their life, but these boys are not broken. These
Mhm.
boys are strong and they're so smart and they're so fucking intelligent. And I remember asking them over the summer, because, their dad kind of pops up in her inbox every now and then when he's trying to get her attention, not because of the kids. And I remember asking them because they were with me, and I was like, "Do you guys miss him? Just, do you guys miss him?" And they were just like, "Not really." It's like, "Yeah, no."
Mhm.
And they don't have that pass of whatever we had. It just feels different with them. Something different. Now, I don't know if it's different between feminine energy and masculine energy. You know what I mean? Like maybe it just isn't transferring with them, but they don't have attachments. And maybe it's just them, but they don't have the same type of attachments to people. They're just kind of cool with cutting cords, like, hi. So it just seemed like, talking to my daughter, like she did have that huge change. And when I did the second one in March, that one was a huge one for me. When I talk about that one, because that one was really the release, and not completely, but a huge release of letting go the guilt and hurt with my first daughter. That one, I was like, I felt it. That shit was like a fucking energetic explosion. Even
Mhm.
Nicole felt that shit on a whole other level. She was crying, I was crying. It was like crazy. And then it's just like, far as some things with my daughter changed. Now there's other parts, of course, that I think is just her age and she's 20 and fucking, kid shit, right? Doesn't, when you're 20, you think you know a lot and you don't. But
Yeah.
there's all other things that she's made these huge leaps to not stay in the same cycle of stuff and letting things go and really cutting cords where before she couldn't. So I seen the shift. I've seen the shift. So I feel like as we keep doing it, we will get that. Now, of course, my mom, is the only one before me. My grandmother, my great grandmother, they're all gone. They've
Mm,
already passed, but they're all around me. They like to hang out around me, which is pretty cool sometimes. It's just like, yeah, pretty
okay.
cool sometimes. So I don't know how that works with past ones though. You know what I mean? I don't know if that helps them. I don't know if it I don't know if it gives them peace to see us healing. I don't know. I don't know yet.
You would. Mm, I guess it depends on who you ask. Gee, in some way.
Right. Now, one of the things that always trips me out about life is that I do think we relive this life over and over again. In my theory, you know how I feel about deja vu. For me, deja vu is not a good thing. Like for me, when deja vu comes, I feel like we've done this shit before. And I'm like, yeah, fuck no, we've done this shit before. Hello, we've been here in these bodies doing this shit before. So that makes me feel like, yeah, maybe we have all these lives in reincarnation, but also, what if we do this life over and fucking over again? But this
I
is, we play out all of the different realities or all the different choices. Like in this life, we did this choice, but then the next life, what maybe we do the next choice. And maybe we keep fucking all the possibilities that could have happened. Maybe we keep changing it.
I used to think that. That's what I used to think. I have a really hard time with past lives or reincarnation in general. So I
Right.
used to think like if you didn't get it right, you would just kind of continue
Redo
to
this.
replay. Because I used to believe that everything had its lessons, right? And I kind
Right.
of have a hard time with the past life things because number one, um, I have this issue where I want to stay connected to my children, right? I don't want to like pass and get new ones. You know what I mean? Kind of thing, like where they say you're gonna
Right.
like
Right.
come
Right.
back and you'll see your children again and blah blah blah. So I used to, feel like, you would have a lesson to learn, and give or take, if you learned that lesson, you would have to either relearn it or you would be pushed on to like that next lesson. But the reincarnation was with yourself, and
Right.
with your own journey, not taking on the body of somebody else or something else, and regenerating
Mhm.
in that way. So I've always kind of had that feeling where like you just continuously like replay your whole life's purpose, like,
Right. Right.
and you didn't wake up and become Marianne or Tom, or you just kind of continued your own purpose, your own journey. So
Right.
yeah, I do that. I feel like in a way, those generational traumas are kind of put there, and it's like the goal is to get rid of them, right? The goal is to shed that person or that thing, or whatever it is that you're carrying with you that's unhealthy for yourself and kids, no matter what you call it, in some kind of way. Um, so it's just like as the experiences are passed down from one generation to the next, it's like learning to overcome or become resilient to continuing those same
Mhm.
things throughout, kind of passing down the
Right.
shit end of the stick.
Yeah, I don't get happy with deja vu because I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I'm making the same fucking choices I did the last.
But there would
I
have
do
to be
believe,
some kind of explanation for it, though, right? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I do believe in past life, but I do feel like this life we've done multiple times. I feel like there's some type of cycle. We just, you know, how there's all these different belief systems, theories, and I think they all coincide. If you kind of put them all lined up together, they kind of coincide in so many ways. But to be like really made me realize that I didn't like deja vu anymore is when I had moved to a whole nother state and was having deja vu. I was in a place that I had never been before.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, how could I have deja vu? If that's just, what people were calling deja vu at the time, it was like, how can I have this in a place I've never been? And I was just like, so you mean to tell me you're letting me know that I'm making the same choices. So what do I need to change in this moment? And then, when I would pick up and move, and then it would be a different state. And here goes, boom, here goes this fucking deja vu. Now, not too long ago, I had deja vu, and I haven't had deja vu in a very long time. And then it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Out of all these choices, now I'm back to a place that you're telling me or hinting to me that no matter what you do, maybe you still
Mm-hmm.
make the same choices regardless. Like, no matter what, maybe you still make these same choices. And it's just like, there's a lot of possibilities. I could go on and on with theories about all of that shit. Definitely can go on and on about it, but if we go back, because we were going off topic, right? So if we go back to the generational curses, though, I like I said, I particularly, don't really believe in the generational curse, as like this one witch cursing your family. Although I do feel if you come from a line of people who practice magic or alchemy, I do feel like, unfortunately, there can be doors left open of shit and unfinished business. And I do think there are certain energies that are not going to wait until you reincarnate to fucking collect on
Yeah.
whatever it is, that they want or that you promise them, right? And that's why there's the kind of like people with their firstborn type shit, or the first male, or
Yeah.
shit like that we know has happened, right? We know has happened, and it's been kind of documented. So I do feel on that level, you do have to be careful, mindful that you can leave like shit like that. Of course, you can open doors and you can leave stuff. Even when I talk about my daughter, my aunt recently, like within the last couple of months, she said at the same time I was playing with the Ouija board, and I have no memory of playing with the fucking Ouija board at all. Not I don't even like slightly remember it. I don't even like have a blip of playing with this fucking Ouija board in this house. And she was like, "Yeah, you guys were all playing with it and shit." And I'm like, "The fuck? Like, where was I?" So I think you got to be careful. I think you got to be careful with the shit that you do once you open up and um, say. But I don't feel like we're cursed. Like my line, I don't feel like we're cursed anymore. I feel like it's just unfortunate that the way that everything is happening. And I hope that me and my daughter are the two women that change it. I hope that we're the ones that change the dynamic and heal and become these healthy, rational adults with beautiful relationships, right?
You hope. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's more or less repairing the